Welcome everybody to the Determined Podcast. My name is Pasta Guy, and with me here today is Elsa12TMT as one of my regular hosts, but also here today, very special guest, Wintermelon. She is a voice actress that's done a lot of interspersed Undertale stuff, but she's most well known, at least most well known for me, for voicing Azriel in a Growth Spurt. So good to have you here, Wintermelon.
Oh, thank you. It's really nice to be here.
All right. So do you want to introduce yourself to people who might not know who you are?
Sure, I can go ahead and do that. Hello, my name's Winter. I've been voice acting for almost 4 years now. People might know me from my work with Cello Chiquita, or Lemon Light Productions, Man on the Internet, Two All Nighters, various other groups as well. But yeah, I got known for like doing a lot of Undertale stuff, which is kind of why I'm here today. But in terms of my own personal work as of late, I have been focusing more on branching out to other stuff, which has gone pretty well, I think.
Yeah, so that you were doing some like Fire Emblem dubs and
I
stuff.
have, yeah, I have done that. I would like to continue doing Fire Emblem dubs because I've loved that series for wow, longer than I've been voice acting.
Mm.
I just got into Fire Emblem like a week ago.
Oh,
Like
nice.
I just plunged head first. So that is something that I need to see.
Dude,
Yeah, I
dude.
I can link that to you if you want.
Oh yes. Please do.
Sure. Should I just like put that in the Discord?
Yeah, sure. That's always a
Yeah.
good an option. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been this year I have been trying to like focus more on voices I feel like more like myself doing. So I've been trying a lot of more feminine voices and such.
Yes.
So I
Hmm.
did that. I did that for this, and I'm quite proud. Should I link this in the stream chat as well if anyone wants to watch?
You can. That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Let me just drop this here. Also, hi. Yes, I exist in the stream chat now.
Yay!
Winter is now watching. You better be nice to her.
Thank you.
Mm. Anyways,
All right.
so yeah, we got a list of questions here, like a
Of course.
official list of questions, but we're also going to be taking stuff from the chat. So guys, don't be scared to ask her anything. So all right. So I guess this is like one of the most basic questions you can ask like a voice actor, voice performer and stuff. But what made you want to get into voice acting?
Well, I actually I've pretty much been performing on stage, whether it was through dance or theater or whatnot, since I was like 2 or 3 years old.
Hmm.
Um, I started doing
Sweet.
musical theater when I was 8. Like there was a camp. There was a camp at like a group of summer camps I used to go to. They I saw their show the year before, and I'd like wanted to start acting forever. So I was like, I want to do that next year. Since I was finally old enough, I started doing musical theater, and I did it for 5 more years. I took 1 year off though because of family obligations, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I did that for 5 summers straight to the point where I got too old to go to that camp anymore, and I was like,
Oh.
I really want to continue acting. I love doing this, and I want to continue doing it. And then I found out you could do voice acting through the internet. And I didn't realize it was that easy before, so I'm like, okay, well, this is a thing I'm gonna try. So like near the end of 2016, I decided to start throwing my voice out there and auditioning for stuff with my horrible built-in computer mic at the time.
Oh my
Thankfully,
god.
that didn't last long. I did get a proper setup
Yeah,
after.
yeah. What's funny
And
is
then
like,
and then
yeah. What's
there's
funny?
and then there's scrubs like me who just use their phone mic
Hey,
and
you gotta start somewhere.
go through the painful process of well, I mean, it's not as painful. I streamline it more nowadays. I sing more often than I do voice acting stuff,
I get you.
but I don't have a proper setup at all, so I just
It's
Bluetooth
okay.
the what is it called? I'm trying to remember. The .m4a files. I
Ah,
Bluetooth them to my computer, open Audacity, and save it as a WAV. Like, there, done.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised at like what can be done in mixing to clean audio up. I've actually I've been able to work with some files recorded on phones before.
Mm.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I've been. Yeah, like, what's funny is, like, having voice actors on, like, you and Chelchick and stuff. It's like, you have these nice professional sounding mics and stuff, and here I am with, like, my blue snowball and all that.
Hey, no, it's okay. I know several people who use
Snowball's not
Snowball.
bad.
It's not a bad mic. It's really not a bad mic.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of audio, if you guys are hearing some rumbling in the background, there's actually a thunderstorm right outside now, so...
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, yeah, that's my stomach.
No. One of the reasons I delayed this stream was so I could eat a proper lunch.
Understandable. I mean, getting food's important, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to reduce the noise level in the stream more than as much as you can.
Yeah, I mean, like...
About the snowball thing, I'm actually a member of the Utao community. One of my hobbies is voice synthesizers.
Oh, nice.
And Utao falls in that falls in that umbrella. And so whenever I hear people saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get into Utao," everybody and their mom buys a blue snowball first. Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty decent starter option, you know?
Yeah, I originally...
Everybody buys it.
I originally bought it because I thought, hey, back in the day when, like, YouTube was full of Let's Plays and stuff, I was like, I'm gonna do that. But then I just did it, and it just... and then I just use it as my regular mic, and basically just use it for regular voice chats, and basically just... I was, like, the one person that had, like, a super good mic. But then I found this podcast, so now I can actually use this thing for more than just private voice chats. So that's nice.
Nice. Yeah, I actually started out with a Blue Yeti in terms of proper mics.
Mm.
I only
Those
used
two
it
are
for
the
like a
noob
few
mics.
months before I switched over to an XLR setup, though, with an interface and everything.
Yeah.
Yeti and Snowball are the noob mics. They're not bad at all, but it's like you hear someone owns that and you're like, you've only been doing this for like a year or so.
Hey, I mean, I know some people who have been doing this for a while and they're still using Yetis and Snowballs and getting amazing quality from them. So, whatever works best for you.
Yeah, because they actually
I
bothered.
just think it's funny that a lot of people start out the same way and they think, like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'm on a budget, I can't be like everybody else. But when you really get into the communities of people who have to use mics, you realize you are like everybody else. Everybody else did the exact same things that you did when you started.
Yeah.
No, like, I mean, the mic I'm using right now was a early holiday present. I do not normally have a ton of money to drop on mics.
Alright.
Most don't.
Yeah.
Fair.
Cupcake Paints is in the stream chat and stuff. She's like one of my other hosts for those not to know. She's just like, we would look at pasta here, bringing the thunder. No, the thunder came to me. I mean, it looked like it was going to rain all day today. It just finally decided to do it.
Oh my god. Also, is it okay if I quickly run and do a thing? I will be right back in like a few minutes, if that's alright with y'all. Sorry
sure.
about my timing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
To talk about my thunder situation,
back.
Yesterday we had that amazing Florida exclusive happenstance where it's bright outside and it's really hot and the sun's out and you just hear like the thunder sound, right? And it's not dripping like at all. There's no clouds in the sky, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's a surreal experience.
Yeah. Speaking about weather stuff, my Georgia, the weather's obviously not as weird as Florida because we're not surrounded by water on both sides. But we can still get some pretty weird stuff. Like, we do have the occasional, like, sun showers and stuff where it's, like, it's nice and it's sunny, but it's still raining pretty hard outside.
Oh, that's just like 50% of the year down.
Yeah, I know. uh,
It's we spread our weather cooties up north.
it only spreads to like Georgia and Alabama, I guess. Which I do have some experience with Florida weather because, again, like before the podcast started, I was talking about like how my family owns a timeshare in Kissimmee, which is the city right next to Orlando. Which, by the way, people always talk about, oh, Orlando has all the theme parks and stuff. No, it's actually Kissimmee that has all the theme parks. Orlando's just the biggest city that's close to all that. And the
Yeah, most people aren't aware that, first of all, Disney is basically its own city. And that, second of all, Orlando, just because just because a theme park is located near the only major city you know of in a state doesn't mean it's in there.
Yeah,
it's technically part of it.
I mean, Universal Studios is like the only one that's actually sort of like actually in the city, from what I can remember.
The Busch Gardens in Tampa is also in the city, I believe.
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
Yeah, Busch Garden.
If you get my slight in joke there.
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
Busch Gardens. It's like my family was always like, maybe we'll go there and stuff. We don't have anything else to do, but we always usually just go to Disney and Universal Studios. And one time we went to SeaWorld, but we didn't really do that again. It was cold it was kind of cool that day too. It was weird. I remember.
Yeah, you can't go to SeaWorld when it's cold.
Yeah, it was cool out that day. I had to actually buy the shirt I had worn was a nice breathable T-shirt and stuff, and it was too cold for me, so my dad had to buy me a better shirt at the SeaWorld shop, which I kept the shirt for a while, so that's...
I thought you were going to be like, oh yeah, I had to buy a tourist hoodie.
No.
The shame in it.
Nah, it was a tourist sweater. Well, it wasn't a sweater, more just like one of those long sleeve shirts that's actually still kind of thin.
Tourists don't wear any clothing. It's kind of scary, actually.
Yeah.
I remember I went to...
Oh, okay.
Oh, hi.
Hi, sorry if I interrupted.
We were just talking about theme
parks.
parks.
Going on the...
Okay.
What is it? There's nothing like going on the beach as a native Floridian, or being at one of those tourist traps near the or the boardwalks or something, where there's the ice cream shops and things like that. I don't know if you guys know. Those types of areas, and it happens to be winter, and you're wearing your jeans and your t-shirt and your hoodie and your sneakers. Bro, it's freezing out. Because, for you, it's freezing and you live here, and some random person from Minnesota is like, you guys don't know what true weather is. And I'm like, I didn't ask for your opinion, but I don't want to tell you to bug off. So it's like, okay.
Funny thing about that, Elsa, I am actually originally from Minnesota.
And so help me, Pasta. If you come to Florida and you give me that nonsense, I will hurt you. Do not.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, in Florida, don't you guys close down the schools if there's a single snowflake falls onto the ground?
Well, they don't. So I wouldn't know because that's never happened.
Oh no, wait, I'm thinking of Georgia, right? Yeah, seriously, in Georgia, it's they don't have really anything to counteract snow. So if just half an inch to half an inch gets out the ground, they're just well, we gotta close everything because we don't have any rock salt or whatever to.
Yeah, The closest thing we have is the every once in a while surprise hurricane that everybody goes nuts about, and the sitting in aftercare of your elementary or middle school, and the power goes out because of a lightning. Like, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. What? Cupcake,
So,
Cupcake,
anyway,
Cupcake Fates of the Jazz Life will come to Florida and complain about the heat. You come to Minnesota and you'll complain about the cold.
I never complain about Florida heat. I just wish that people would, like, acknowledge, because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, there's no seasons in Florida. It's all the same. And I'm like, first of all, you're only here for, like, a tiny, minuscule part of the year, so you can't talk. Second of all, we have 4 seasons. It's just we exchanged the summer. What is it? The typical American summer is fall, and summer itself is like a completely different season that they don't have up there.
Mm.
Even our winter is like just so weird. I had a friend who came down here from Alaska, and she was like, she was struggling with the cold because, you know, she came down here and she didn't, you know, most of her jackets and stuff was like big deal parka looking, you know what I mean? So she didn't bring much down here because she's like, oh, it's Florida, it's warm. But she was there in her hoodie in the middle of winter shivering, and I'm like, girl, you're from Alaska, what are you doing? Like, yeah, but this is wet cold, not dry cold. And I'm like, well, the only cold we have here is wet cold. And I'm just there, you know, chilling. I'm like, I mean, I guess it's cold, but whatever, you know? Anyway, enough weather talk.
Yeah.
I'm not a meteorologist.
It's okay, don't worry.
Yeah, let's get back to the actual questions that we have our guest here for. Okay, so...
Yeah. Question time.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into voice acting for Undertale in general? And also, what was the first Undertale project you were connected to or worked on?
Wow, this would require a lot of thinking back, but like, well, I actually found out about Undertale like a few months after it came out, I think, because of my cousin.
Sweet.
Like, he briefly brought it up. And then I didn't think much of it at the time. Watched my other cousin watch a friend fighting Sans a bit later during that same visit that they were over there for.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I don't know, I kind of had been wanting to check that game out for a while. And when I really got into it was, around the time, it was around the time I started voice acting. So things like, I had always, like, kind of, when I was, like, playing video games or reading comics or whatever, I would always kind of, like, give the characters voices if I was playing with someone else. So I was just like, you know, why not turn this into a formal thing I do? And it all sort of just came together.
Yeah. So... Yeah.
As for the first Undertale project I was involved in, I believe it was an audiobook, I think that's what it was.
Oh.
I auditioned for it with my terrible computer mic and somehow got in.
Well, back in the day, it's like, what we forget to remember is, like, back in the day, it's like Undertale comic dubs were coming out, like, by the hour, like, hot off the presses.
That's exactly the period of time I started voice acting during.
No wonder
Never a better time to join voice acting.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, you have a voice? You can act with it? Here, come on.
Can you do a half decent impression of one of the characters? We'll get the heck in here. Send in your WAV files, man. We're trying to get this stuff out by the end of the day before those dang Starbot dub people do.
Oh my god. Holy crap. Oh my god. That's
It's amazing.
That really is what it was like, huh?
It was. I mean, I was just like an outside observer to all this, and 16-year-old me was like, ooh, look at all these comic dubs, while probably in the background they were just furiously working on it.
I was 14 when I started doing this. Oh my god.
Oh my god! Oh, I didn't know you were younger than me.
Yeah, I'm currently 18.
I'm 20.
I'm
Oh
currently
heck.
17.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not the
Baby
youngest one in
Elsa,
here.
baby Elsa.
Anyway,
Jokes aside,
yeah.
I'm so glad that like even though it may have been like really stressful like early on in the Undertale voice acting community, it's like if it wasn't for the fact that everybody was like just like joining, like okay, everyone's literally everybody's like getting started and jumping into this new thing, we wouldn't have all the amazing people that we do now, because that's like the entry level, that was like the
Yeah,
entry for them,
it was a good way. Uh, even with all even with all I've been through there, it was a good way to get into voice acting, I think.
Yeah. It's just yeah, it's just that sometimes, like, back in that time period, it's like, sometimes it's like, you didn't even really need to have, like, super good quality to go viral and stuff. Like, I
well,
remember,
everyone was like thirsty for like anything.
well,
Even if it
yeah,
was like a 5 second, like you added surprise sounds.
yeah.
You know? I'm not even exaggerating, that's the worst part.
I feel, yeah, like even from when I was just starting out, I was always like, God, when I started editing my own dubs, oh God, this gives me horrible flashbacks to when I had to edit in iMovie on my parents' computer. That was a
Oh no.
dark time. That was a very dark time. I thankfully did end up getting my own decent computer and editing software shortly after, but like my first couple dubs were all done in iMovie.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I was the person back in the day who was using Windows Movie Maker, so I have no room to complain. Which, by the way, if you guys are wondering if those videos exist out where, yes, they do, but they're all private, so don't try looking for them.
Understandable. Yeah, nowadays I just use Premiere Pro since I get the Creative Cloud for free from my school. So yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
Me personally, I've never had like a bad experience with iMovie. I personally think, like, considering it's free, I'm like, heck yeah, this is actually pretty good. But
Yeah,
at the same time,
hey,
it's
use
like
what you
it's like
got.
when we were talking about mics. It's not that it's not good. It's just that
It's
everybody and their mom started
limited.
out with this.
Yeah.
It's one of those noob markers. You know what I mean? So I hear iMovie on parents' computer, and I'm like, oh snap. And as for
Yeah.
Windows Movie Maker, this is gonna sound really cringe, right? Okay. My first PC was a Windows XP, right?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, dang, how old was I? I was young. I couldn't have been older than 8, right? And I would just make what is it? Because I had some audio files from like the CDs, right? Because my mom showed me how to rip CDs with Windows Media Player. Yeah, this is getting really old school and cringe. But what is it? She showed me how to rip CDs, so I would have like audio files from the songs that we would listen to in the car, like my kids' songs and such, and I would like just pop in the music, and then add like text, because I didn't have any images or anything. And like the text was always like this really, because I realized, oh, you can change the background, and oh, you can change the color of the text, and you can change the color of the backgrounds, and it was always like the most disgusting combinations of colors ever. Oh no, those were dark times. Oh no, why did I remind myself?
Just
I mean, we're all better now. That's at least
I
something.
mean, honestly, like, even just comparing my work now to my work a year ago, I'm really proud of how far I've come.
Yeah. Same here with like my other creative passions. Like I like it's come to a point where because my brother's not much of an artist. He respects and appreciates, artist and stuff like that, and he gets that like it's fine. But he looks at some of my older stuff, and he's like, "You drew this?" And he's like, and I'm like, "Yeah." And what is it? We have a pretty like close relationship or whatever. So this didn't come off as rude. He's like, "But it's so bad. Like, look at it." And I'm like, "Yes, I know. I know that came." I mean, and then he's like, "Wow, I can't believe it took you that long to improve." And I'm like, but it's totally worth it. I mean, look at it now. It's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing what time to do. Because I have a, what's it called? I have a notebook. Well, it's not a notebook. I have like this scrapbook where, how sometimes, you're bored in class and like you like doodle or start making lines or whatever in the corner of your paper or like in the margin. I know not everyone does it, but yeah. Oh, just me? Okay.
No, I get that. Don't worry.
So the thing is, because I actually was interested in drawing, instead of just doodling, I would just straight up draw pictures in class, like on the notebook and stuff. So what I ended up doing was making a scrapbook where because there was like random sheets of paper and stuff like that. I ended up cutting out all of those and putting them into one big thing. And so then I can look at it, and it's not really an art progression. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, that's terrible. I cannot believe I made that, but I remember that. That kind of memory lane thing. But yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Okay, so back to the questions. Wintermelon, you've been known to work with many popular creators doing smaller roles, or not basically being at the forefront yourself. What's it like working with those type of bigger creators and such?
I mean, honestly, like, I've gotten to work with a lot of people who really inspired me starting out, and, that really, it's really, it's kind of surreal at times, because I'm thinking, like, I looked up to these people. Now I'm actually, like, working alongside them. How did this happen?
I mean, I understand something similar. Like, again, we did a show with Lynx Griffin the other day.
Nice.
And the creator of Doctor Future Past and Paper Trail, for those not in the know.
Both wonderful comics.
Yes, I love them so much, and those stories, especially Doctor Future Past, inspired my own Undertale and Deltarune fan fiction, because I am a fan fiction writer, and
Nice.
yeah, just getting to like meet with them and just chat with her for hours. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so
Yeah,
much fun and stuff.
I know how you feel.
Yeah.
My ignorant behind didn't even know that Dogs to Future Past and Paper Trail was written by the same person.
No, you're okay.
I mean, it was cool because I'm like, oh, okay, I see it. Like, you know how, like, once you know, you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. This is definitely that person. Because there's, like, little things that, like, give it away,
Yeah.
you know?
Like,
Because I loved both of them individually. What to call them? But I had heard of them. I've heard of them at completely separate times. So I just had, like, but, for the working with people who you look up to, what to call them? When I first started properly getting into the online art community, I had I still have she's a very good friend of mine. The Gemini Sage, creator of the Refused comic.
Oh,
I don't know
that
if you
sounds
guys have heard
familiar.
of it. Yeah, it's been around for a while at this point, like a long time. But what's it called? She used to see all my early art and like encourage me and stuff. And then there came a day where what is it? she drew like a happy birthday sketch for somebody, and I was like, "Hey, can I color that?" And she's like, "Sure." And I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm coloring her lines!" And it actually looked pretty good too. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm getting all, it's like, wow, like I can actually work with somebody that I look up to, and it's just great to feel that, because not only are your friends like, "Yay, you're doing amazing, you're doing," but at the same time, it's like, um, to make their work, to when your work can like coexist, in an artistic way, um, with somebody that you look up to, it's like an amazing, like,
Yeah,
kind of
it really is.
like when, like, I guess the best visual example I can think of is because me and a bunch of my kind of group collab birthday gifts a lot, and it's like amazing, like how far some of our art has come, that like despite the fact that we all started at different times and we all have like our own styles and such, when we made the gift for the when we made a gift for the Gemini Sage, everybody's art kind of flowed together, you know what I mean? And I'm just
Yeah,
like, "Oh, look at
it's
us.
super nice.
Look at us. We're
Like,
so awesome."
honestly,
You
coming
know?
together with a bunch of really talented people to make something amazing. Honestly, I don't know if I can really name a better feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast, because one, no one else was doing something like this, and two, it was just like being honest, it was just a good excuse to meet people that I've been looking up to for a long time.
I mean,
Honestly,
hey, that's valid. That's valid.
yeah.
Valid.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've always been kind of like wanting to. I've been into networking a little bit for stuff I'm passionate about. Like I don't know if you know this, but back in like Christmas holiday time around 2019, I joined the UTSS.
Undertale Secret Santa.
Hey,
Yeah.
same. Elsa, I'm not sure if you remember, but I actually made something for you, I believe.
Hold up. Give me a second.
I went by a different name at the time, but I composed a thing.
Yeah, you were in the name Slick Slack.
Yep, we don't speak of that name.
Yeah.
Wait, really? Hold
Yeah.
up. Oh, hold up. I'm brain farting. I should remember this, but I don't.
Let me see if I can find the post.
You,
Haven't opened Tumblr in a very hot minute.
you, it's
I literally I literally have only been on Tumblr recently just to find Snow White and the Red Shoes. That's it.
That's valid.
yeah. It's like
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh my god. Let me just drop this in general.
yeah.
Okay, I'll probably know it when I see it. Or I better know it when I see it, correct?
Yeah. Wintermelon, it's just like you drawing the name Slick Slack. All I can think of is it's like
Oh
I know.
yeah! Oh my god! I remember this. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's crazy. It's a small world, I guess.
Yeah, it really is. Like, honestly, once I joined and saw your name, I recognized you from that.
Yeah. I was also in that. I was just like, I wondered if you remembered me being there.
Yeah, I did. I do remember chatting with you briefly, like in the server.
Yeah.
Like when I joined, I was never all too active there, but like a bit after I think the night I joined, we chatted a bit.
Yeah. I was just like, hey, you're the person who did like the Astral voices and stuff, and you were like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I remember
me.
that.
Yeah.
But
Well, I didn't say that. You did, but
anyways, like you drawing the name Slick Slack and stuff. I know you did it for like a lot more personal reasons and stuff, but all I can think of is good. You have dropped your name, and now you can join the ranks of me and Cupcake, having food in our names and making people oddly hungry every time they see
You know,
us.
funny story. I'm just gonna be entirely honest about this. You know, I've heard some people go into like, really long sentimental stories about why they have the names they have now. I just really liked boba tea.
I mean, I'm similar. I'm just like, what's one of my favorite foods? Pasta, and I'm a guy.
It,
Genius.
well, but like, honestly, aside from that reason, it is a really nice name, and it's something that felt nice and comfy, and like I felt fit me. So, I decided to make the switch because it just, I don't know, it felt more right.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Because it's like your name, and like it's part of your identity, especially when you're a content creator online.
Exactly.
Like I never meant for Elsa 12 TMNT to be my name. It was actually a temporary name that I invented because my original username, how do I put this? To really oversimplify, it was compromised, and I didn't want, like, if you put my old username into Google, I didn't want you to be able to access me, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, nope, that's not me, huh? I never had that username. I'm this person. And so the first thing that was free when I was trying to make the backup email was Elsa12TMNT, and I'm like, okay, all right.
That's
Username,
understandable.
popped it in. I'm like, let's go. And that name originally was one of the ones in my brainstorm list when I was trying to come up with names. Of course, that was not my first pick. And I mentioned it before, I think, that it literally came from I was 10 at the time, 9. I was 9 years old, right? When I was doing the initial brainstorms for my username, and I was obsessed with Frozen, so Elsa. I was tired of being 9 and wanted to be 12, so 12. And my first fandom was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so TMNT.
It
And
all
it's
works
just
out.
it's just like, and I'm like, does that sound like a username? I'm like, yeah, that sounds okay.
It does. And I mean,
And now it is one.
yeah.
I used to feel super awkward about people calling me Elsa because back then it's not such a big deal now. I can say what my old username was. My old username for things was Beeps B. I thought it was like unique and like poppy sounding, cool. And I used to get upset back then when people just called me Beep. And I'm like, no, that's not the whole name. It doesn't sound the same. So then people started doing that with Elsa, right? With
Yeah.
with my current username. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. It's not as bad as being called Beep. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now I am officially Elsa. I have no other name besides this.
Yeah, I mean, like, Winter.
I
did
don't
end up
care what
being the name I
another
chose for
episode of the
myself, like, when
podcast may
I,
say.
oh,
This is the
sorry.
only name I have.
Okay.
That's valid. Don't worry. But yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, it kind of worked out like a bit after I officially like picked the username. It was sort of a side username that I didn't officially switch to at first, but like, due to figuring myself out a bit more, thinking a bit more about my identity, I was like, maybe I just ought to pick a new name, and Winter ended up being the name I went with, so it all works out.
Yeah.
Yay!
Uh, I mean, like, again, like, I've explained this before, but back in the day, I was actually called that pasta guy for whatever reason. I don't know why I put a
Like
that.
Poppy?
Yes.
That Poppy? I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I'm pasta. I'm pasta.
Anyways, for some reason I put that pasta guy in, and I was just like, and for some, and I just, and I think it was flipping I think it was like when I joined Amino and stuff, which I'm actually not a part of anymore. But when I did it, like someone already had that pasta guy, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna shorten it to pasta guy, and I realized, hey, that actually sounds better and stuff than that pasta guy. So yeah, no, just put myself for pasta guy and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, don't mix up the pasta. There's that pasta guy and pasta guy.
Yeah.
And then there's the other pasta guy. And this pasta guy.
It is that, yes, you are no longer just that pasta guy, you are the pasta guy.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, with my evil nemesis, Noodle Man.
Oh no.
He's
Noodle
my
Man.
Your dark side.
yeah. He's my he's my dark self. Dark self that like hates Undertale and thinks podcasts are dumb. Anyways, let's keep on moving. All right. Next.
All right.
Next question.
Yay.
You know, for a bit of positivity, I guess. Is wintermelon. What was the nicest compliment you've ever gotten for your voice acting work?
Well, I think some of the nicest things I've ever been told about my work have actually come out of this year. Like, I've had some people tell me that my work, like, the fact that I've been trying, you know, things people might not have expected me to before, but, like, trying voices I feel more like myself doing, I've been told that that has inspired others to figure out who they are a bit more and, like, you know, try things that they wouldn't be expected to. And honestly, just hearing that I've, like, inspired others like that. I'm bad at phrasing, I'm sorry, but, like, hearing
Well,
that
yeah,
I've
it's
been
a
able to
compliment.
inspire
Compliments
others
always
in
make
that
people
way.
flustered.
Yeah, I get very flustered whenever I'm complimented, in all honesty, but, like, hearing that I've inspired others and, like, given others the courage to be themselves like that, it just really meant a lot, you know?
Yeah, it's like I also got a couple of comments like, "Oh my gosh, you're running so good" and stuff, and it's like, your work actually helped me through some tough times, or like helped me like figure out like who I was and stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god. I mean, on the one hand, I'm happy and stuff, on the other hand, I'm like 20. I'm not sure if I should be shaping people's lives like this with my dumb stories, but hey, what you gonna do?
Well, Jesus was like Jesus from Christianity, right? I believe he was like 35 and just like walking around town being like, "Hey, yo, what's up?" So like you're not the weirdest young adult running around town, not even.
Yeah, and still, I asked that of you, Wintermelon, because of like how Cello told us like how you once got basically got the compliment of a compliment from like the creator of Growth Spurt that like if
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was, oh my gosh.
that like
Yeah, that meant so much. Like, when he like made the post, like when he said that he liked my voice, I just kind of freaked out, you know, because like oh my god, working on those dubs was, you know, it's something that I feel impacted me a lot in positive ways, because like I didn't expect to get as much attention for those as I did, but like, you know,
yeah.
plus like working with Cello is like absolutely wonderful. She's just, oh my gosh, she's so kind, and just honestly, I'm really grateful for every single chance I've had to work with her.
Yeah.
It means a lot.
And hey,
You
without
can go ahead and
without
tell
her,
us
you wouldn't be
about-
on here today. So yeah, I guess you like recommended you come on and stuff. By the way, did you like?
Oh, hey.
Did she like put in a good word for us and stuff? I don't know, like if you guys talk about like stuff like this on the sidelines or not. Not sure if she like put in a good word for the show or not.
You guys contacting me were the first I've heard about it.
Oh.
And then it was like, oh, hey.
Cello, I'm calling you out. I said.
Oh, hey, Cello's in here.
Oh, really?
Hi, Cello.
Well, just not in the chat. You know what I mean? In the circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hi. You just wave.
Cello, I'm calling you out. I said you knew so many famous people that I wanted you to help them come on. I need my view count. I mean, I want to interview interesting people.
Hey, this is a public call out at Cello Chiquita. You're absolutely wonderful, and I'm really grateful to call you my friend.
Yeah, call out.
Very positive call out.
All that weird, nice stuff that you were saying, nice advice that you were giving people who were starting out. Yeah, that should be illegal. To be that nice.
Very positive.
How dare?
Very positive call outs. Cupcake Paints in the chat. Your artworks is super adorable, and I love it. And I love that you're my friend and how talented you are and stuff. Yeah. We need more positivity like that. Anyways, speaking of Cello Chiquita, what's it actually like working with her?
Honestly, like I've only ever had like really nice experiences working on projects she's run, because like it always just means so much to like be able to lend my voice to something that such a talented and kind person is creating. Like I'm always glad to help out when I can, and we've also worked together on audio production over at Lemon Light Productions. We've mixed a number of the songs together. Like she will do like timing and tuning for chorus tracks, and then I'll do like the final mixing and mastering. And honestly, I personally think we just, we work really well together, and I would love to continue doing so.
Yeah. Cupcake Paints in the chat. How dare you? You're and then she's like, you're an awesome guy and a really good writer and friend. Cupcake, how could you call me out for being so nice like that? I'll never recover from this. Anyway.
Alright, I stepped out for a second. Yes. So, what is next?
Yeah, alright, I guess. Since we're on talking about Cello Chiquita, what made you want to work with her on her
pasta.
Cello Chiquita? God dang it! Even now, I'm screwing it up.
Okay.
I know, but still, I feel bad. I want people to be called the right things. Dang it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm just saying, because it's like every time you say it a new way, and I'm just like, how are you finding new ways?
How am I finding new ways to not pronounce it right? Anyways.
Oh no. But yeah, it is Cello Chiquita.
Yeah, it is. Anyways, what made you want to work with Cello Chiquita on her Grove Spurt dubs? Like, did she like do like a call out or something, or did she like contact you like personally?
I mean, we'd known each other for a little while at that point, since we met in a project I was going to run but ended up kind of failing. I met her because she auditioned for that, and she's really cool and talented, and we sort of became friends. And like then one day she just messaged me like asking if I wanted to collab on that, and I was like, oh hey, sure, I'd be glad to. So here we are.
Yeah.
Anything for your
Awesome.
fluffy boy?
Oh.
What? Yeah, Elsa, did you say something?
No, I didn't. I mean, I don't think I did.
Alright. Yeah. Again, keeping on with topic, the role you're most known for is playing Azrael Dreamer in different places and stuff.
Yeah, that is kind of how I got my start. I've been working on doing other stuff as well, but Asriel is kind of what got me to where I am.
Yeah. How do you feel about...
Thank you, Floof Boy, for your contribution.
Thank you, Floof Boy. How do you feel portraying a character that's like often portrayed as you often have to do as both a child and as an adult?
I think, when I think, since I did like play both versions of Asriel a number of times, I think it was a bit of an interesting experience seeing how you can take like two voices that are in different spots in my range and sort of carry some similar traits over, just make it like clear that it's the same character.
Yeah.
I think it's a nice little exercise of range.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, Chiquita, what is it? Cello was sharing the woes of voicing children. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I don't know. It's like, it kind of just, it really depends. Like, it can be, it can be a bit tough at times, but it kind of depends on the child in question.
Yeah. Like, for those not to know, like, this is gonna be a bit weird to explain, but I am an Undertale fanfiction writer and stuff. I've made a whole entire AU and stuff, and also I'm currently starting on my Deltarune AU and everything. And one of the things I did was that my friend Caitlin, she liked Undertale and stuff, but I don't know how specifically I got into this arrangement with her, but every time like a new chapter was posted and stuff, I would contact her and over voice chat we'd kind of voice act the chapter out together, and yeah, it was nice. She is like I think. Actually, like she's called Amethyst, like 17767 or something like that, and she is a very talented voice actress and stuff, and she hasn't really done much work yet, though. She's actually instead of like dubbing comics and stuff, she's actually working on her own like animation and stuff.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and yeah, she is a very talented voice actress and stuff, and yeah, it was to get back to the point. I did all the male voices, and and she did all the female voices and stuff. I also was the narrator, and it was and it was like kind of hard because there's a reason why I'm a writer and not a voice actor is because I can't like do some of the more emotional acting stuff really as well as I would want to. There'd be scenes in my story which were super emotional and stuff and all that. And I just like be kicking myself, being like, no, someone could have done that better. You should have done that better. Yeah, but getting back to that point, I did voice Asriel, who actually for those who haven't read my main AU, is actually the main character of the AU and stuff, and voice acting his kid version of himself. It was kind of awkward for me because the voice I came up with for that was a bit more just a bit more. I think more of what Ralsei would sound like than what little kid Azrael would sound like. Like, hang on, let me just gonna take a sip before I actually do some voice acting for this.
Sip.
Got some orange Fanta with me. Oh, that was the drink I got with my lunch. I wanted to get apple juice and stuff and actually be healthy, but they didn't have any, so I was just like, hey, this is also fruity, I guess. But yeah, anyways. This is kind of the voice I came up with, and as you can tell, it's a bit too, I don't know, it's just like a little too like high pitch or something for what I imagine Asriel sounds like, but yeah.
You're putting your voice. You probably won't know what that means, but like, I don't know. As somebody who sings, I'm like somehow mentally I can picture what I would do with that voice to
Again, I don't know
to like adjust it, but it's like I cannot explain it because I suck. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I have like no voice acting resume at all. Unless you count like, no, I don't have anything really.
Yeah.
I can do it, and it's fun, but I just never done it properly.
Yeah.
I should do that.
Yeah. Again, it's just like that. It's just like that voice. It's just like slightly like the pitch or something is off of it. Again, I know jack shit about audio stuff, so I have no idea really what I'm talking about. But yeah, it just sounds a bit off to what I think Asriel would, a kid version of Asriel would sound like. And for those wondering, like what I think an adult Asriel would sound like, you're basically hearing it because I was just lazy and just used my my sort of regular voice. Like there's a regular voice that people have in regular conversation, and there's like a voice when they know they're like presenting something. Like it's slightly different from their regular voice for if people don't really understand what I'm talking about. Like it's more like controlled and stuff. Like you're like actually paying attention to what's coming out of your mouth and everything. So yeah, it's just
Call out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was funny to me. I tend to always talk in my presenter voice, especially on this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm always, well, for the most part. Sometimes things don't work out, and my voice just kind of because like if there's a lot going on. But for the most part, when I talk to people, especially over the internet, because I don't have the advantage. Actually, no. 80% of the time, if I'm talking to somebody, to a certain extent, it's a performance, because socializing with people for me, as an individual, is a skill that I had to actively work on learning. So at the end of the day, it's all a performance, and it's all acting, and it's all, you know what I mean? It's like I think a lot while I'm talking in order to have things come out the way that I want them. Like even right now, I don't know, this is getting really meta, so it's hard because I'm thinking about, you know, there's a lot of thinking going on in my head during these things. But like this would be like my presenter voice. Now if I was talking to like somebody at home or like a really, really close friend of mine, I'd probably sound like, could I do an impression of myself when I'm not in like professional mode? Well then there's like the really hyper professional mode, like, hello, you know?
Yeah.
I usually don't talk like that unless like I'm really nervous and I'm like really scared that I'm going to screw something up, and then it just kind of happens on accident. I don't mean to. It's like over tuning yourself in a sense.
Yeah.
It's weird. My voice, my relationship with my voice is really weird. But I mean, I'm trying to think, can I get away with doing an impression of me talking like 100% naturally and normal? I don't know if I should. What should I say? Hello?
Hello?
Huh?
What should I say though? Give me something to say.
I don't know. Uh, Hi, my name
I'll
is.
just grab something to read off, like I did that one time.
Yeah.
What's it called? So me normally, like right now, would be like Equate Ultra Restoring Lotion is formulated to help with your skin problem. It helps heal extremely dry, rough skin and contains 7 moisturizers to provide extended moisturization. That's like that's like right now, right? And then like me at home doing whatever, just be like, um, this is gonna be hard to do. It's gonna be hard to put me in that headspace. But Equate Ultra Restoring Lotion is formulated to help with your skin problems. It helps heal extremely dry, rough skin and contains 7 moisturizers to provide extended moisturization. I don't even know if you could hear the difference,
Oh, I could.
but that's a thing that exists. Earlier when we were doing setup, Pasta heard me like all out, just not professional mode at all because I was just so tired. I had been taking a nap and then I woke up and I was like, oh yeah, this thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I gotta get my voice back into the correct tone and appropriate stuff. Anyway, I dragged this on, so let's talk about something
Yeah. Uh,
other than this. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, well, one last thing I have to point out, it's just like, my adult Asriel voice sounded like me, sounding basically like me being somewhat professional and stuff. It's probably because, well, I kind of, not to be mean, but I do see a lot of myself in Azrael Dreamer and stuff. Like I've covered this a little bit before on the show, but he is my favorite character, and I identified with him the most because I was also the quiet kid that was like super sweet that also got roped into some stuff that I should have been because I couldn't really say no because I was nice and stuff.
were you fluffy too?
I wish.
Actually, that gives me a question for wintermelon. Um,
Yeah.
so what inspires what's it called? What inspires your portrayal of certain characters? Like, what traits do you see in a character that makes you think, oh, maybe I'll make it sound more like this, or maybe I'll make it sound like that? Or do
It's.
you just
Hmm.
try to stay, especially for like characters that don't have a source voice, you know what I mean? Like they don't have a voice actor.
I
What's your
sort of.
approach with that?
Well, you see, I take the character into consideration. I think a bit about their personality, like who they are, etc. Like their traits and such. And I try to convey that as accurately as I can in terms of voice. The thing is, when it comes to doing voices, I try to stay away from like doing impressions of existing voices, because I feel like if I'm just trying to sound like someone else, I'm not really doing my own voice, am I?
I guess not.
Yeah, it's like,
That's
yeah,
one
it's
way
sort
to
of a
look at it
combination
for
of
sure.
things.
Like like what thing? Factors like like the
Well,
personality, the
personality is
age.
one. Like, I'm bad at putting this into words. Wow,
Uh,
sorry.
well,
You could you could use examples if you want.
yeah.
Like
Again,
for
we're just ready to make you
example, like
comfortable.
oh, yeah, it's okay. I'm just, suggesting things like, oh, so for example, when I was coming up with so and so's voice, I thought making it sound like this would be good because,
Yeah,
or
I'm
unless you
just
don't
trying
want to do that.
trying to think of a decent example though.
Yeah, fair. Completely fair. You've done like a ton of voices by this point, haven't you?
Uh,
Yeah, that's yeah. There, blah. I've,
Blah.
yeah. I mean, it's been nearly 4 years now.
yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Hey,
that's
if
a
your
lot.
stuff is good, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, thank you.
Yep.
I mean,
Like,
I mean,
Inspire a million different ways that someone could hear. Um, their favorite characters.
I mean, of course, I love your Asriel voice, but
Oh,
I'm sure
thanks.
there's, but I'm sure there's like plenty of people that I like love your like stuff you did for like your Fire Emblem and your like My Hero
Yeah, that's
Academia stuff.
yeah, that's what I've been focusing a bit more on, just branching out. Uh, cause like like I guess like yes, I did have fun like doing Asriel, and I'm still glad to do them for cello and stuff like when she asks. But I also, in terms of my own personal work, I kind of do want to do something new.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, it still sounds good, so yeah, I'm fine with
Oh,
it.
thank you. Yeah, I guess like maybe I'll use the Fire Emblem dub I sent as an example because I'm very proud of my performance in that one. Honestly, is it okay if I do that then?
Okay.
Okay, so it's like honestly, when I recorded that, I was playing Fire Emblem Fates for the first time since I first got it, which was like I don't know, freaking 5 years ago. Like I got it when it came out,
Yeah.
but
Dude,
like
my one of my friends
Fates is the one with.
one of my friends named Zach. It's like he was one of those hipster Fire Emblem players. Like I was into Fire Emblem before it was cool. I played the GBA games back in the day.
yeah, no, Fates was well aside from Smash Bros. Fates was my proper intro to the series, and I know like a lot of people have said
It
that they
was
didn't like
for a
that
lot of
one, but
people, yeah.
what was that? Sorry.
Like it was a lot of people's entry. Most gateway. Most of the DS ones, I believe.
Yeah, Awakening and Fates. Yeah. Like
Yes, for
I've
sure.
heard a bunch of people say that they didn't like Fates, and I know the fandom can get violently angry if I even bring the game up. But like, yeah, it has its flaws. Every game does. But personally, I personally enjoyed it. It might not be like the strongest game in the series overall, but I really enjoyed it personally.
Oh,
Is
that's
that the one where with Corin?
It is the one with Corin, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
So like if you play Smash, that and that's your only exposure, that's the one where Corin's the main character.
Yes,
Okay.
it is the one
Done.
uh,
where Corin's the main character. Yes.
uh, 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 quick side thing. Cupcake said that she's gonna have a 15-minute break in a little bit from the schoolwork that she's doing, so she might pop into the voice chat right
Oh,
quick.
okay.
I don't know when that's gonna happen. Just telling you.
This is gonna be a fun surprise, I guess.
Yeah. Now we can get even more food names in here.
All the
Yeah.
food. There's
Yeah.
nothing like good
Yeah.
old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle soup.
Oh my god.
Tonight I dine on turtle soup.
Oh
No.
Yeah. Pasta's your main dish, wintermelon's the side dish, and then afterwards there's cupcakes.
no. No. But
We
yeah,
got three
is it okay
courses
if I
going on.
sorry.
And the appetizer is turtle soup.
Oh my
There.
god. We make a good dinner together, guys. Which is a sentence I didn't think I'd say today.
Should I go on?
So yeah, when you were what's it called so you were talking about how you had been playing Fates for the first time in years.
Yeah, so like when I was gonna say it was a very different experience playing it now than it was back then, since I actually voice act regularly now.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Hmm.
was like, I was doing voices for the characters, and when I got to the sisters on the Nor side of things, okay, for those I can explain a bit. For those who haven't played the games, there are two kingdoms, Hoshido and Nor. And so when I got to Camilla and Elise, who are the sisters on the Nor side, I was like, you know, I feel like by giving these two like completely contrasting voices, it could sort of okay, what's a good word for this? Like it would sort of, they're
Compliment.
kind of yeah, they would complement each other. That's sort of what I had in mind when I was thinking of those voices, because like they are very different in terms of appearance and personality and like a lot of things really. So when I was coming up with their voices, I wanted to make voices that sort of complement each other. So Elise has a higher, more energetic voice, and Camilla has one that is like much lower and smoother. And I think they really balance each other out well, and I'm kind of proud of my performance for them.
Yeah, that's a good tip, especially for people who are doing what's it called projects where they're voicing multiple characters,
Yeah,
but
I
multiple characters that like talk to each other and are a pair in some
exactly.
way to try to make them like different but still complementary.
Yeah, I sort of did something incredibly similar to that with another of duo. I cannot English. I'm sorry. With another duo of characters. If any of you have played Ace Attorney,
Oh
I
yeah.
still need
Pasta?
I still need to play more of that game, but I was voicing characters as I played again, and I got to I did a proper dub of this that I put up on my Twitter and Tumblr a little while back, but yeah, there's a phone call between another set of sisters actually, Maya and Mia Fey, and so like I sort of went with a similar approach, like voices that complement each other nicely.
Oh yeah.
And like honestly, like it's similar like what I did there, because it's like a lower voice and a higher voice, and I sort of you know made
And
them
then you added like the personality quirks and stuff.
yeah, exactly. That's honestly, duos like that are some of my absolute favorites to voice, because I can do that, and it feels really nice, like it actually sounds like two different people, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something to be proud of,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I not to toot my own horn, but um, there was this one time where I was in a talent show and my act was singing a duet with myself,
Oh, nice.
and it was freaking so much pressure because I was really good at doing it on my own, but like in front of people was like ah. And then to
I
make
get ya.
matters much worse, the lower voiced, the one that was more masculine, I think it would have been like I think the voice type itself would have been like tenor-ish range, if for those of you who know what that means. And then the feminine voice, the higher of the two, was definitely like soprano, like up there,
Oh boy.
like C6 territory. Like it was some intense stuff. And the masculine voice touched like the bare bottoms of my range. So not only was I doing a duet with myself and I had to make them sound different, but the it was also supposed to be like, hey, look at my crazy range, and it was just so stressful. I actually had to change the because I didn't get a lot of time to practice. I actually had to change how I voiced the two characters
Oh.
because what is it? By the time the show came around, I wasn't prepared to do what I wanted, so I just went with something that was more sustainable. Like
That's understandable.
for
I mean, vocal
the
health is important.
yes,
Also,
I mean, the thing is, if I had been able to practice more at home, because my voice is very loud, so if I'm going to practice singing, I need like a space.
I get ya.
And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I can't really practice at home without annoying people. It just doesn't happen. So like my originally when I wanted the guy's voice, because it's a guy and originally what I wanted the guy's voice to sound was like erase me from your mind until you remember,
Hey, I
right?
know that song.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, but what is it? Wait. So then you know what song I'm talking about, right?
I do know what song you're talking about.
Do you see what I mean with the crazy high pitched notes,
I,
right?
I do. Holy crap.
And I did that live
Oh my god.
because I wanted to flex on people. So then, and then for the feminine voice, I wanted to do something like this. Reach out and don't grab the wrong hand. I am waiting. But because I didn't freaking practice, I had to completely like change it just so like I could perform without it sounding terrible. You know what I mean?
I get
Because
ya.
like you have to be in a certain headspace to do that thing, and I had just put too much pressure on myself. So I made the guy's voice just really like low and breathy, like "Face me," like that. And and then the girl's voice, I just went for the classic opera-ish sounding voice because it's the easiest to do at those really high.
I get ya.
Yeah.
But it sucked because that's not what I wanted to do. So I've been considering like attempting to do it um like as a cover to upload on the internet and to see if maybe then without the pressure I could pull it off.
I get ya.
Cuz if I mean, it can be done. I know it can be done. I mean, you're
Yeah.
here, right?
Yeah.
It can be done.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those crazy endurance singers. So like in theory it should be able to happen. It's just the getting nervous and all that. Man, I so regret like I don't regret trying and learning how to do it. I just regret making myself do that live without a proper amount of practice. I regret it so much.
Hmm. Yeah. It's,
I made this about me. Whoops.
oh, you're fine.
Hello, I am here now.
Oh yeah, Cupcake. She joined in like a minute or two ago, but yes, Cupcake Fence is here. One of my,
Hello. I have
So-
less than 15 minutes.
probably about
That's
10.
okay. We're glad to have you, regardless.
Do
Yeah.
you want to ask anything, or do you want to contribute a point or something?
I don't know. I just wanted to be in here. I wanted to feel included.
That's still valid. Don't worry.
Oh, Cupcake.
What?
Show Wintermelon your MK voice.
Oh no. Okay. I don't know what to say though.
You can
Line.
No.
Line.
No.
Yo, you're a kid too, right? I can tell because you're wearing a striped shirt.
Yeah. Oh, that one. Okay. Yo, you're a kid, right? I can tell, because you're wearing a striped shirt.
That's really good.
Yes,
Thank
it is. I
you.
love it. She does a really good MK.
We did a when Cello was here.
reading.
We read it aloud. We read part of Pasta's fanfic
Mhm.
aloud, and
By the way, just
we
warning
gave
to
Cupcake, of course.
warning to all voice actors that may or may not come on here. If you fit some roles that I think you are perfect for in my story, I will force you to read some of it. Not well, not force you. I mean, I'm obviously not going to force anyone to do anything they're not going to do because
Yeah,
I'm not a
I would
monster.
say-
But
No, it's okay. I would say a thing, but I just don't want to come across as rude or anything.
yeah, but
I guess it's just like, I mean, outside of roles I've already taken on for other projects, I kind of just really don't feel all too good about doing male roles for like a bunch of stuff anymore. Sorry if that's rude of me to say. It's
It's
just
not
dysphoria
rude.
and such.
Boundaries are a thing. We love boundaries.
yes.
Uh,
And also,
I
we
just-
love respecting choices here.
Thank you. I just didn't want to like let you down or anything, you know?
Yeah.
Nah,
Like-
chill.
like,
I mean,
I-
for my part.
Like I'm not gonna give up roles I've already taken on. Like, I mean, if like growth spurt, like if we do more growth spurt dubs, like I'll still do Azrael for that since I already committed to the role, and like I'm glad to help with that. But like, it's just like taking on more roles or doing them on my free time that I wouldn't exactly like. I don't feel all too good about doing male voices in general. I'm sorry if that's rude of me to say. Just
Yeah.
That's chill, and that's something that kind of like what. Oh, what? Well, I've got woofs making noise.
Woof-woofs.
Dog should be renamed Woof Woofs.
Doge.
Yeah, beautiful. They want to be voice actors too. What is it? But kind of
Dogs
like
are
how we were
always
talking,
quoting Shakespeare just so we can't understand it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely. Kind of like how we were talking with Cello, um, last when we did the episode with her, and we were talking about experience when you're applying um for a position or whatever or auditioning, and setting boundaries. Like for example, we talked a bit about like language,
Yeah,
like vulgarities and things like that.
yeah.
Like, and there's obviously like some things that morally we may not um be willing to say. Like for example, if I'm
Not safe
this
for
this
work.
is like a really random example, but like let's say in my personal life I'm doing some kind of job that where my reputation is really important, and I don't want to say something super. I don't want to act the act the role of somebody with a controversial viewpoint, not because I don't realize that it's acting and because I'm not capable, and
But
not
just because it doesn't
because
feel right.
I think because it doesn't feel right to me, is
Yeah.
definitely a big point. I know a lot of people are uncomfortable um, with roles that contain a lot of swearing, especially that very excessive casual f bomb as an adjective for like almost everything
Oh,
type.
jeez.
It just doesn't sit right because it's not how they feel. That's not how they act as an individual. That's not who they are.
I get ya.
And it's when you have to step out of the out of the because to a certain extent, acting is being somebody other than you. But when you have to
Yeah.
step
But like there are just
outside of yourself to the point where you feel uncomfortable, and like when you don't when voice acting becomes something that makes you unhappy, that's where you're like, oh yeah, no, I gotta draw a line.
yeah, exactly. I think that's the best way to sum it up, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Moving right along.
Like, mhm.
I mean, just a little side thing though before we move along. We are talking a lot about voice acting in this, which is good because we did get a voice actor on for this, so that's
Yes.
yeah.
That yeah, yeah. That sounds like something that
Yeah.
you you invite a voice actor on, you start talking about voice acting.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
checks out.
makes sense.
Yeah. All
It
right.
does.
All right. So, speaking as a voice actor, uh, wintermelon, you're sort of a smaller voice actor in the Undertale sphere. I mean, there are,
Yeah, smaller on my own, but like the people I've worked with are
yeah.
like, yeah.
What's it like being a channel that's lesser known than some others? Like, how do you feel like being known for a lot of stuff that being known for working in a lot of stuff, but not being known for the stuff you've worked on personally?
Uh, it's kind of, well, in some ways, like sometimes I do think, man, I wish people paid as much attention to my own stuff that I'm more proud of than like some of the stuff I've done that I'm not as proud of. But I guess in some ways it's kind of nice because like, uh, I've seen like I've seen the way some people have like demanded certain channels like do certain things or like pressure them to upload. Like, that's not something I would want to have to deal with on a regular basis. So it's kind of got its pros and cons. It's good in some senses, not as good in others. It's but something. It's
A
it's
thing.
black. Yeah, it's
I
it's
mean,
it's got pros and cons.
I, I would think that one, username changing, two, you changing up the style of your content means that there's to a certain extent there's like a brand there's like a
Yeah,
brand establishment that has to be made. Like you have to
exactly. That's
reestablish
what
your
I'm working
brand.
on. That's what I'm working on. I kind of, one of the reasons I did that was because I did want to get a bit of a fresh start when it came to the stuff I did.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you have like one go-to people, like one go-to or something that you're really known for, people expect that because you're well known for it, you're you're going to constantly jump back to similar thing. But if you reestablish yourself and like what is it? You change up what you're well known for um by putting yourself out there in different circles, like for example a different fandom, then people are going to expect different. I don't know if that makes sense, like I'm saying. But that's what I would think. Like to go back to like my username change and stuff. Before then, one of the reasons why I don't just go back to my old username is because um a lot of my really cringe fan works and stuff is tied to those names, and a
Yeah.
lot of it was Wreck It. Well, a lot of it was like Wreck It Ralph stuff, right? That's basically mostly what I put out. Wreck It Ralph. No, I mean it was okay in concept. I still really like it, but like the writing was very poor. The art was very poor. A lot of stuff, and it's just like I don't want to be associated with that. You know, like it was okay for the time, and I did my best at the time, but that doesn't really align with my interests and like what kind of stuff I produce on a regular basis.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't go back to it if I had the opportunity to like erase everyone's memories. And nope, I've been Beep Speed this whole time. But no, I don't think I would do it.
Mm. Yeah, it's like everyone honestly has like some like if you're a creative type, you all have like before you got quote unquote successful. There's like some works that you did beforehand that you just not very proud of, like me doing reaction videos and Terraria Let's Plays and stuff when I was a 15-year-old, and God, did I definitely sound like it.
Oh, you're a baby pasta.
Baby pasta.
My voice has stayed the same for years for the most part, so I can't
My
really.
voice has changed a lot ever since I was 15. Again, a lot of people like say like, oh, you haven't again. It's like, I probably explained this before, but people are like, oh, you have a nice voice, and again, I'm just like, really? I didn't know that.
I get ya. I definitely feel ya. I remember like back back like okay, so I switched high schools a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at an art school now. It's really nice, but like I was at the previous one. I would sometimes read the PA announcements in the morning, and I think someone told me like, "Wow, you have a great voice. You should voice act." And I'm just over here like, "Oh, wouldn't you like to know?"
I used to, I used to do the
Wait,
same
you
thing.
voice
I used
act,
to,
voice act, wait, you voice act when you're only a teenager. How do you do that? Well, I'm not voicing it. Well, I'm not voicing for Cartoon Network, that's for sure.
Maybe someday.
Maybe one of
I
these
don't know.
days.
Honestly, just I would love to do this like for a living eventually,
Yeah.
as well as like music and such. I do make music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, yeah, I'd love to like draw for a living, or you know, or write or whatever. Honestly, making video games sounds awesome. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. I,
You,
yeah.
There's all the difficulties.
Yeah, again, I want to be author. Like, I want to be like Stephen King or whoever. Just want to write books and stuff. But there's like one or two concepts that I have rolling around in my head that'd be like, this could be like either a great like fantasy story, or it could be a great video game story. And I'm just like, I'll eventually probably pick which one it is depending on like who I know and stuff and all that. But yeah. So
collab with Pasta Guy and what is it? Next thing you know, you'll see Pasta and Cupcake working together on a video game, and it's like Pasta's working on like the story and like that stuff, and then we've got Cupcake's concept art, and you're like, ooh, and then there's a Kickstarter, and then I'm kidding, guys. I mean, if you want to do that, I'll throw money at you, but
we're both
because it always happens like that.
We're both far away from that.
Yeah.
I mean,
at this point.
Yeah. I mean, the first story I want to write, like legit write, not just a fanfic story, is again this one love story that I have that I've been cooked in my head for a while. Basically about a couple, quiet Japanese guy and a fiery-haired Scottish woman connecting over the internet and stuff. Like, yeah, basically it's like
time zones probably are terrible.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's like, and one of the things about it is like, basically it's like, all this like online experience I've had. It's like basically they first meet in a comment section, like the Scottish lady is like very good, like a good fan artist and stuff, and is like trying to like find an animation studio to work at, and like she makes this fan art, and the Japanese guy is like, wow, that's really good artwork, but isn't like her like armor or something supposed to be blue or something? It's like it's gonna be like some small detail and stuff, and they're just gonna get into like a little bit of a disagreement over it, and then she's just like, you know what? I don't want you flooding my comment section. Just get into my DMs already, and
Slides into DMs.
And it's like they get into their DMs together, and after that, like a friendship forms between the two of them and stuff, and sooner or later they realize they like each other more than just friends and stuff. So
Dun dun dun.
It's like it's gonna be a story that like centers around like how to have a relationship that far away from one another, and also the difficulties the two of them face in their own personal lives and all that, with them both being like super talented at what they do. Like she is like all for, like she's like all out like trying to get an animation job and all that type of stuff, while he keeps his he's actually a very gifted pianist and stuff. But he keeps it secret because like her sister is like,
Pianos are expensive.
well, no, it's like her sister like was very good at like playing the violin and stuff, and she was like, and he remembers like her like going like all over the country and stuff, like performing and stuff for like the orchestra she was in, and working yourself to the bone and stuff, and and he was just like he doesn't really want to be like that just traveling music person, like going across the world, just constantly playing his stuff without having any time for himself and all that. It's only like really at the concept stage at this point. I don't have it like written down anywhere besides a blank Google document that's in my like original works folder. But yeah.
Oof. The original works folder, it always has like some blank files, and then that's it, with titles, very specific titles.
Yeah.
That can't just be me.
Well, it's not. I'm telling you right now, it's not.
We'll be right back real quick.
Jeez.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sure, Winter, you can step out for a second.
I have an actual real life like journal notebook thing that I put all of my ideas in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I ever lose it, I'm probably losing half of my ideas.
Oh, oof.
All these wolves.
So many woofs. But I have to go
Ow.
they-
Ow.
Go, Diego, go.
No. I moved past Dora and Diego. No more.
What the heck happened to my audio?
Good question.
But anyways, I have to go like very soon, but I just wanted to say that because we were on the topic of like voice like voices changing from like early teen into adulthood slash later teen, and and it's funny because like I think my voice actually got higher
Wow.
because like, but I mean is when it comes to my singing voice, especially because I had been working on it and I was working especially on increasing my vocal range. So now I can actually sing, like, I can actually hit high notes on songs very easily that I used to struggle with, like when I was 15.
Hmm.
And so it's just like, here's your inspirational thing for the day. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do, whether it's voice work, whether it's music, whether it's drawing. If you practice and you keep at it and you keep going, of course, don't overwork yourself, but you work hard at it and you just keep going, then you can do it. You can accomplish it.
Yeah.
Perseverance. Woo!
Yay! All right, and with that, I'm out.
Bye, Cupcake.
See ya.
Bye.
Good luck on whatever you're working on.
You know what's something interesting?
Yeah.
Have you ever
back.
heard of
Sorry.
Wolfie Chew?
Oh, Wolfie Chew, yeah, that animated story time person.
I think it's really funny how people are like, "Wow, her voice is so high," and this and that. And I'm thinking to myself, it's not that her voice is high; it's how she speaks just happens to lend itself to being perceived as very high. Because I could do, what is it? My mom, literally a couple days, not a couple, like last year, we were in the car and I showed her a Wolfie Chew vid, and I told her, yeah, she speaks Spanish, right? But she has that like Castilian accent, like from legit Spain, which makes her sound even more like a little kid because they do this thing where if you have a Castilian accent, you don't read the Z's like S's. You read them like with this f sound, So it makes it sound like you have a lisp, in my opinion, right? And then my mom went on to just do this like really on point impression of Wolfie Chew speaking in Spanish. And I was losing it.
Oh my
Me
god.
and my brother were cracking up. It was the funniest thing.
You, you never expect your parents to voice act.
Yeah.
Well, my mom is I mentioned this early. I mentioned this. I think I mentioned this in private, actually. But my mom was a theater major in college. And she's a drama teacher right now at a middle school.
Yeah.
So yes, she can in fact do the things. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Oh, hello?
Oh. All right. Well, all right.
Okay.
Let's keep on going through. Oh, this is. This is one that I want to ask. It just as a sort of little fun one, more less of a deep dive on voice acting that we've been doing. What's the weirdest voice acting request you've ever gotten? Like, from.
Weirdest voice acting request I've ever gotten. This is. I'm trying to think, because I've probably. Thinking back, like a lot of stuff that's happened is kind of a blur in all honesty.
Mm.
I mean, I voiced Jerry like once. that was something.
Oh no.
God,
Yeah.
the Wi-Fi sucks
The
here.
forbidden one.
The forbidden one.
Okay,
Wait, twice actually, because
we can never think of you the same way.
Oh my gosh, you did. I just remember that.
Yeah, I did do that. Wow.
That sounds cursed. Baby
it
Jerry.
certainly- Oh god.
I don't want to think about it.
The Wi-Fi sucks.
Oh god. But weirdest voice acting request. I'm trying.
Even
to
if
think
you didn't do it, like,
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a specific one that stuck out. In all honesty.
Mm.
Do.
Yeah,
So much weirdness. What to pick from?
I'm trying to think if there's like a specific one that stuck out as particularly.
You can mention some other ones and then just pick one to go into, if you want.
I'm trying to think. I mean, someone just sent some freaking memes at me one time and was like, "Hey, voice these." I never got to, but like, honestly, I'm always down for a good meme.
Who isn't, right?
Yeah. I mean, speaking
I
of
hate
memes,
internet culture.
speaking of memes, like I made this one meme for like fellow like fan fiction writers. Well, it can actually apply to any like writers that write stuff online. It's like it's like the galaxy brain meme and stuff. It's basically like the small brain is getting views on your content. The bigger brain is getting likes on your content. The brain pulsing with electricity is like getting well written comments on your content. It's like the big galaxy brain is getting a professional shit poster to constantly post in your comment section.
Oh my god! This isn't really a weird request. It's just okay.
Unexpected.
I suppose, yeah. One time, it was certainly a request. I'll play it that way.
Oh no!
I did have someone come to me like asking me to dub their entire comic,
Oh
which
my
barely even existed yet.
Oh my gosh!
So that happened.
Hey, can you dub like all of this?
There was like 1 or 2 pages out too. That's not even enough to make a proper dub.
Yeah.
Can't make a 10-minute, easily monetized YouTube ad-friendly video off this. In all seriousness, though, it's just like I've had something similar to that where it's like, hey, want to help me make a holy you and stuff? And I'm just like, a holy you, that takes a while after actually like writing it out and stuff. I don't know if I have that time.
Yeah, the same thing actually happened with me. But I wasn't sure how like aware on how people tend to feel about I wasn't sure how aware he was of the fact that most like artists and stuff don't necessarily like to just grab collabs for things they're not passionate about, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I tried to explain it like the best I could. I don't remember. I think I might have been like, I sent that email years, and it was somebody that I knew IRL, but it all worked out because the next time I saw the dude, a couple years had passed, right? And he was legit drawing and making his own ass blog, and I'm like, you know what? Good for you. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm glad like it ended up being something positive and not something, you know. The way he draws ass real is super adorable. I'm not gonna call him out on this because you know that's not nice, but still,
Yeah.
you know, I appreciate it. I appreciate what is it? Him going out and making a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just like
Yep.
it's just like sometimes it's like you get in as a creative type that social network that does some social networking and stuff. It's like sometimes you'll get invited onto projects that are trying to be this big grand thing and all that, but then you actually get into it and you realize, wow, they really don't have much planned out, do they? For what, or for at least
I really feel that.
yeah, for what they need to actually figure stuff out. Like, there was this one AU I worked on whose Discord server I was on for like a good 6 months, and they were it's supposed to be this like big grand epic thing. It's like it was supposed to be like an alternative timeline where it's like the characters we know were actually around during the time of the war and stuff, and all this other stuff. I can't really remember it. And again, it's like they spent more time on like planning and stuff and doing all this side stuff for it than actually, making the thing. And I'm just like, guys, are you seriously getting voice actors before you've even like written the first chapter of it and stuff?
Exactly. I hate when people do that.
Yeah, that's not the order the things should go.
Especially with someone like
There's
me.
like a food chain to it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, especially as someone like me who, being completely honest, like a lot of the time, I have a definite outline in my head before I start writing anything down. But in my head, I don't have like, I'm not one of those people that writes like well detailed outlines and stuff, like notes on their projects and everything. I just go like chapter by chapter and stuff, and go off like notes for that stuff. I don't know what these people that have like planned like whole novels and stuff. Like
I'm trash at winging, like absolute trash.
Mm.
Like here's the thing, right? When I wing something, it ends up being, that's pretty nice, that's good, and then it never ever gets finished. It's a sad reality. Like, when I was talking about the Sacrifice for the Cause fanfic, I don't know if you got around to reading it, that gorgeous cringe.
Gorgeous cringe.
There's that one, and long distance friends in the past. Those were all concepts that I came up with in one sitting, and then I just went for it, and then I never touched it again. Because something's wrong with it. I mean, I did talk about this a bit. I don't remember if this was with Linux Griffin or which episode it was, but I talked a bit about how I've been trying to do things to help me fix the things that were stopping my productivity. Like, I would just get distracted with something else, or something else would come up, or my organization was just that bad. Because like, it's one thing to like have the idea in your head, and it's another thing when like your mind is a mess in a general sense. It's like you can't even keep track of where you put your shoes, never mind a whole multi-chapter fanfic concept,
Yeah. Yeah, just all that those projects and stuff. I'm just like, again, like, I don't want to say that time was pointless and stuff, because I did like meet some pretty nice people and stuff on there, but still, I'm just like, I look back at it, I'm just like, the amount of hours I spent like chatting and stuff with those people, and I know about stuff, and I know they're never actually gonna make that dumb thing.
It's like
worry.
disappointing.
Yeah.
The thing is, it does sound pretty cool and stuff, and just like, please, just at least like make a proof of concept of what you're trying to do before you like get all these people together and stuff. But anyway, moving right along.
Fail faster.
Wait. Wait, did Wintermelon, did you actually ever answer the question? What was the weirdest voice?
Yes. Somebody
I mean,
asking for a full comic dub of something that had 2 pages.
yeah,
Yeah.
that, and maybe people who have asked me to voice them.
Hey, can you voice act me? Excuse
Yeah,
me.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
happened
that
before.
imagine being such a fan of yourself that you're like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like in what context would that make sense? Like if you're trying to give like a voice that isn't yours, you wouldn't want it to sound like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like for example, I don't know if you guys saw on YouTube Davey something whatever, the guy who plays the bass,
yeah, Davey 504.
who he made the fake um um anime based me girl channel, and he paid a voice actress to give the character a voice, to give
Yeah,
the YouTuber a voice, but it was
exactly.
but the whole point was it didn't sound like him.
Yeah,
Like, so it's just I can't think of a scenario where you would want somebody to voice act you but sound like you. You know what I mean?
exactly.
I cannot. I can't. If somebody knows, let us know in the chat, because like I'm completely just I don't. I can't comprehend. So yeah. Pasta, were you gonna pick another question?
Yeah. Anyways, oh, who are your favorite characters to voice act for Undertale or otherwise?
Yeah.
You see, I always both, I've said this before when I'm asked this question, but I always both anticipate and dread this question. Because, one, yes, I love talking about voices that I love doing, but I also will probably forget some, and then we'll probably
Fair.
have 5 more favorites the next day.
Fair.
But, like, I
It's
guess
like characters that like you like drawing, and then you go and like learn to draw like a bunch of other characters. And you're like, oh, this is so fun, and
Exactly.
so like it changes all the time.
So, like, for the sake of simplicity, I think I'll limit it to characters whose voices I have already posted publicly. Because I have a few I have not yet posted publicly that I am very excited to put out there, but no one's actually heard them yet, so, wouldn't make sense.
Hmm.
All right, fair point.
Uh,
But yeah, I'll be hyped for that.
Thank you. I have some plans in the works. But as for voices I've put out there, okay, there's one voice that the one voice I literally was way too nervous to put out there, but finally did, and honestly, no regrets. I'm glad to have finally put it out there, and I'm glad to hear so much positive feedback on it. Would probably have to be Yuri from Doki Doki Literature Club.
Oh.
Yeah, like, I came up with a voice for her a while back, but I was like, I'm nervous. What if people hate this? What if people judge this voice too harshly? But then, like, I posted it first time officially as part of my 6 Voices challenge on Twitter, and people seemed to really like that one, and it meant a lot.
Yeah.
Another favorite voice of mine would have to be,
Sweet.
this one's actually my own take rather than, like, an imitation of an existing take. I can do Momo from My Hero Academia. She's a lot of fun to voice. I just love her as a character, too.
Yeah, she's a sweet girl.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun, as I mentioned before, doing duos of characters with contrasting yet complementing voices. So, Camilla and Elise and Mia and Maya fall under that category. Absolutely love voicing all of them and would love to do so more. I did some dubs of some of the memories from Breath of the Wild on my channel as well. I did Zelda for those. Really love voicing
Really?
her, too.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what I'm gonna do when I'm done with the podcast.
Oh,
I
heck.
know what I'm gonna.
Oh, boy. But, yeah, honestly, I could probably sit here listing voices for a while. Long story short, I have way too many.
Yeah.
But those are just
Hey, it's
some. Those
better
are just some that come to mind.
It's better that
Counting,
they're all your favorite.
yeah, out of ones I've posted so far, those are just some that come to mind. Real answer, I could not pick a single favorite because I love doing so many voices.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, alright. Alright, so, I'm not sure about I'm not sure entirely about this, but, your kind of branding and stuff is a bit based off of Azrael. I mean, you're still called a sound goat on your Tumblr page and stuff, but
Yeah, in all honesty, I kind of just haven't updated that yet.
yeah. But
I mean, my character still has some goat influences. That's not going to change.
yeah, the horns. For one
Yeah,
thing.
my character's got some goat influences. Always got to remember where you started.
I mean,
Your roots.
your character is pretty cute and stuff, but
Oh, thank you.
yeah, but I can't help but think of this while we were talking and stuff, especially with your a more quiet voice and stuff for this. But what do you think of Ralsei as a fellow person that was really into Azrael and stuff back in the day?
Honestly, a good goat is a good goat. I heckin' love him.
I love him too. I'm excited to actually start writing for him.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. It's just,
I unfortunately cannot relate to the borderline obsession. I don't know. I don't know what you Azrael people do, but I love Ralsei because that design. Oh my god.
It's so cute.
yeah. Oh,
Like-
speaking of cute Ralsei stuff, like this got posted in the middle of the podcast, and I just wanted to share it with you guys because I thought it was adorable.
Aw. That's cute.
Yeah.
Aww. Sweet.
Yeah, I've seen that artist stuff before. They drew some one shot stuff, right?
Oh yeah, they mainly draw Delta and stuff, but they also do stuff for One Shot and Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
She's actually one of the people I
Love
want.
One Shot.
Yeah, she's actually one of the people that I want on the show and stuff, but her English isn't all that good. Like apparently she's actually starting to get better at it, and she's just like, okay, when they actually get to somewhat speaking English, that's when I'll come on the show. So fingers crossed. That was like about a month ago, so
English is a tricky language. So,
it really
Yes,
is.
it is.
Anyone who says that it has clearly not tried to either write for it or talk or try to talk with it
even as
intensely
your first
enough.
language, it's still absolutely horrible.
I mean, the thing is, like with English, is like it's like there's so many one, there's like a bunch of different variations of it, and two, it's basically like a bunch of Western European languages just all just barfed up like all their like weird anachronisms into one language and stuff, and then it's just English is a mutt, and it's just
I mean, I personally, I honestly love English as a language at this point, not because, like, wow, this is like everyone should only speak English and all the other languages suck. No, I'm one of those people. That's not what I mean. It's just that at this point, because I guess what's really influenced my perspective on this is being in the voice synth community and thinking about how languages function, not just in terms of like their not just in terms of like communication and grammar rules and stuff, but also just the kind of sounds that they have and the kinds of expression stuff that you can do and like in that light, that's the light that I've seen a lot of in, and with the history, um, what's the column, and like acknowledging the history of how the language came to be is the source of a lot of my patience for English. Like, for example, the fact that there's two th sounds, there used to be a different letter for,
Oh
but
yeah,
then
I
everyone
saw
got
that.
lazy and was like, nah, let's not. The ass sound used to have its own letter and everyone got lazy, and no, let's not.
Have you
That's too complicated.
my
And then
mind
they
just
ended up
jumped to
making things
oops, sorry.
worse.
Sorry. I'm sorry if that interrupts at times. I'm sorry if that's rude of
It's
me. Please let me know
okay.
if I'm ever.
No,
Okay.
it's chill. I talk a lot,
Okay.
and I am also guilty of interrupting, so I get it.
Okay. I never.
What did you
That's
want to
never my
add?
intention. I was just gonna say. I thought of a specific example. Have you when you brought up the letter for the th sound, have you seen the Froggy video?
The
The what?
what?
I'm gonna have to link this, aren't I?
Probably.
Uh, basically, the guy making this video, I assume, did not know that that made a th sound, and since it looked like a p, he pronounced it as a p.
Oh
He fixed
no.
that in later videos of the same thing, but have fun.
Wait.
I'll put it in stream chat too for anyone who wants to see it.
Yeah. Uh. It's actually speaking of the th sound, like I actually had a bit of a speech impediment, like for the first 12 years of my life, where I couldn't pronounce my th's all that well. Like I couldn't, like instead of making the sound like you're supposed to, I just made the f sound sound like it was. So it was like. Uh, so it's like instead of three, it was free and stuff like that. I had to go
There's a
to
lot of there's
I had to
there's a
go to
lot of
classes for
sounds
that.
like that.
It took me a while to actually get over it and stuff.
You know, I was gonna say something. I was like, let me know. But what's it called? Something that I find really interesting is what is it? What sounds are shared between languages? Like when people, what is it? A lot of English vowels are diphthongs, which basically means a diphthong is, say, two vowels together, so it sounds like a different. So a good example would be the letter A. A is a diphthong. It's made up of and E. A, you know?
Hey.
So it's really interesting. Like when I was teaching grandma a little bit of English, she could have some more phrases in her pocket than she did before, and I was trying to make some kind of pronunciation guide for her that would make sense. I Because I've worked a lot with, for example, in the Utah community, there's a lot. Well, in the voice community in general, less in the Utah community because you have to do a lot of fiddling to make this happen. But a lot of the people in the voice synth community like to use voice banks, which is collections of sounds for voice synthesis in one language, right? They like to use
Mhm.
voice banks intended for one language to sing in another language. And it's cool because it's like they're, like, for example, Japanese to English, they're missing a lot of sounds, but if you know the vowels of both languages really well, you can find you can find replacements that like totally work. I think my
Yeah.
favorite one is for like the the sound in all, the all sound. I use the o sound. And for for the sound, I also use o, which is something a lot of people don't use. And you may be thinking, well, the sound oh doesn't sound anything like Why would you pick it? And it's because I did research into the shoot. I forget what the name of the speech pattern is, but the one where the R's sound low key like W's. and I was studying it, and I noticed that a lot of the what's it called a lot of the ending vowels that ended with R that were affected sounded like the source vowel plus the O sound. Of course, it wasn't super perfect. It's more like a all type sound. But when I noticed that, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna use this to my advantage. And so now, because it's a because it's like something that a lot of English speakers they hear and they still understand. Most of the time, you won't even notice that the voice bank doesn't have an R in it because I'm trying to figure stuff out. And when I was teaching my grandma to speak some English, instead of writing the letters, how they're usually are in English, I wrote each of the diphthongs. I separated so she could get a better idea, and then she could actually pronounce them, which I was like, yay! So hype. Here I am nerding out
I will be right
about
back again.
sounds,
No, it's okay. Don't worry.
voice
Sorry
sounds.
for my chatting.
Hey,
I should be back in a second.
Yeah.
let's chill. Let's chill. So, what's to call them? Um, my brain. Um, so yeah, I guess so. It's kind of hard for me to like hate English as a language. One, because the sound has kind of grown on me, especially in terms of like singing, because I'm a singer. A hobby that involves sounds is not connected to like speaking, it's connected to singing. And then there's also the fact that I'm extremely well acquainted with English as like how it works grammatically and stuff. And I enjoy creative writing. So at this point it's like I can't like I love English like in general. I mean, sometimes it's like a love-hate thing, but most of the time I'm like, yeah, you're cool. You're just a very weird lingua franca
Yeah.
because like you go like you were saying earlier, there's a lot of different versions and people use English as like the you don't speak my language and I don't speak your language, so let's just speak English, you know? That's what they use it as, a lot of people. And then there's always going to be like that random vocabulary that just seeps in from English that like like for example, if you're um Hispanic and you live in America, you've probably um you probably know that the general term for any cereal is conflate, which comes from cornflakes, but it means any cereal. You know? It's that kind of weird stuff. It's just like English. You do weird things to other languages. But to be fair, other languages do weird things to you too. So yeah. And then there's just so much. Um so yeah.
All right.
Let's go into another question.
Yeah. Speaking of questions, we're actually getting actually running the question. We're actually getting somewhat low on questions, and we've been going for
Hey, it's been a pleasure joining you.
yeah, it's going for around 2 hours and stuff. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap.
Dang.
We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up, but there's something I want to do after we get it done all over the questions. I had to restructure it a bit because of your preferences, wintermelon, but I think we can still do it if it's okay with you. But anyways, I guess this is. Hang on, make sure that I haven't. Also in the chat, if you have any last minute questions, make sure to ask them. You guys have been awful quiet, but then again, it's like 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, so I'm not sure what I really expected, especially now that a lot of places school is starting back up again. I mean,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Anyways, yeah. Okay, so wintermelon is one of the bigger questions, a nice big question for us to leave off on for this question section of the podcast. How do you feel about your place in the Undertale fandom and just your place in voice acting in general?
You know, when it comes to the fandom, I guess, I mean, I'm not really as terribly active as I used to be, like, back in the day in the fandom, but, like, I mean, Undertale is a game I will always hold very close to me. It's what got me to where I am now. And I'm really grateful, because without it, I wouldn't have started doing this. I wouldn't have met the people I've met. I wouldn't have made some of the best friends I've ever had, you know? It's really made a pretty big impact on me as a person. It's helped me figure out who I am more, and I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
In terms of voice acting in general, I just, I'm sort of just doing my own thing, and I would love to, I would love to get myself out there more, yeah, but at the same time, I want to be able to create opportunities for other people like me to do what they enjoy and, like, what they feel comfortable with, and I want to make this something that doesn't have to seem as, like, uncommon. I want it to become more of something that's just regularized. I've been looking into potentially becoming a casting director.
Ooh.
I still need to look into it more, but I want to give opportunities to more people like me.
Yeah.
And, I want them to be able to do what they're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that. I feel kind of similar, honestly, because I feel kind of similar, actually, because I'm also, like, kind of, I'm not, like, super unknown and stuff. I am just kind of middle of the road popular. I mean, I've never gotten kudos for my story above 80 and stuff. That was the highest I ever got on kudos and stuff. I'm basically, like, I'm doing better than some, but I'm nowhere near a lot of other people and stuff. And I do like my place, like, in the Undertale fandom and just where I am as a writer now, but I also do, like, I wish, sometimes I wish I would be, like, one of those people that got, like, 1,000 or so kudos and, like, thousands of people reading their story and stuff. But, yeah, I guess we're kind of similar in that regard. Anyways, so yeah, that's all the questions we have. And hang on, let me check the chat again right quick. Looks like, again, you guys are being awfully quiet. But, anyways, there's this one section of my fanfic I would really like if you could voice act for me. Winter will help voice act because it is between two people that we're gonna need someone else to do it and possibly another voice to be the voice actor and stuff.
Me. I'm the other voice.
I mean, if you want.
I call dibs.
But yeah. So originally I was gonna have you voice
There's
as
two parts.
yeah. Well, there's also the narrator for this because this is we are reading from a story and stuff and not a script. This is an excerpt. Basically, I don't know if you know this, but my main the main ship in my fic is actually between Frisk and Azrael, and there's this both of them being around 18 and stuff. And there was this one scene I wanted to do where it's actually it's very wholesome. It's them basically snuggling in bed together for the first time and stuff after they've admit their feelings to each other and all that. And yeah, so my Frisk is female, so if you feel comfortable with it, I'd like you to voice act my Frisk if you wouldn't mind.
Sure, why not? I'm down.
All right, and then I'll take Asriel. Floof
Yeah.
boy time.
Goat.
Goot. Goot. Yeah, alright, let me just get the link for you guys.
All right.
I gotta come up with a good voice.
Yeah, again,
I'm not, like I said, I don't have a huge resume when it comes to voice acting, so it's not like I have, oh yeah, this is my Frisk voice, this is my Kara voice, this is my Azrael voice. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't have.
Alright, you guys are gonna have to actually scroll down to a specific part for it because I don't want us to do the whole chapter G's.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, yeah,
It's
that
okay,
would.
don't worry.
Yeah, basically, go down to the part where, Azrael says, good night to Frisk and stuff, and there we'll probably go from there, unless I think there's a better place to start from.
Which line would that be?
Good night, good night, Frisk, he
Oh,
quietly...
it's written as one word. That's why it didn't show up.
I type good night as one word a lot, so.
Yeah.
I just typed GN and then I'm done.
Anyways, so, yeah, I guess I'll be...
So who starts? I start there, and then we stop at.
We stop there. We start at Goodnight Frisk, and we end at the end of the chapter. There is one.
Oh, okay.
There is one slightly sexual thing because Frisk is a flirt and stuff, just a little bit, though. So yeah, and it's.
I mean,
Did
that's
you
just
seriously
Frisk
make
for ya.
Frisk frisky?
Oh my god.
Boo! Your pun is terrible, and so is the pun that's actually sort of an innuendo. But anyways, we'll get to that. So, yeah,
Begin.
yeah, let's
Oh my
begin.
God.
Hang on, let me take a sip of my Fanta.
Wow, it's this is gonna be weird because I've been talking. Like, the funny thing is, like, my natural voice is pretty much lower than like the majority of the voices I do now.
So, yeah.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
alright.
So I guess I'll start. I'm nervous because I have to figure out how I'm gonna say it. So
Yeah.
just can go for it.
I mean, he's not like a super manly person, obviously. I mean, having met Azrael,
know.
but still.
He's a soft goat.
Good night. Good night, Frisk.
Again, they are supposed to be around 18 during this, so just remember
Oh,
them.
perfect.
Yeah.
I
Do I
mean, I've
go
already got that
all
part
like-
down.
Good night, Frisk.
He quietly told her.
Night, Azrael.
She then replied. Azrael smiled and then rolled over into his usual sleeping position. With how comfy the bed was, it didn't take him long to feel sleepy. He felt himself start to fall asleep. He was about to close his eyes and drift off, but before he could, a voice stopped him.
Azrael, are you awake?
He heard Frisk ask. The young prince opened his eyes and looked over to the end of his bed. He saw Frisk standing there.
Frisk, what is it?
He sleepily asked. She paused for a second, as though she didn't want to tell him.
I can't sleep.
She softly answered. Azrael looked at her confused. Frisk then sighed.
I just can't calm down. I just keep thinking about all the stuff that's happened today, and all the stuff we have to do tomorrow. It just stresses me out.
She finished quietly explaining.
But since we're in a relationship now, I want to ask you something.
Sure. What is it, Frisk?
Azrael asked.
Is it okay if we snuggle?
She replied with a soft blush on her face. The young prince's face pinkened when she told him. Frisk filled up with embarrassment.
I mean, it's okay if you don't want to. It's just a suggestion.
She awkwardly told him.
No, it's okay. I actually like the idea.
Asriel said while turning his head away from her. He then pulled up the covers from the side of the bed he wasn't using. Frisk nodded and got into bed with him, slipping under the blankets. She got herself in and then moved right next to Asriel. She then nuzzled her face into his neck and the top part of his chest that was exposed by his t-shirt.
You're so soft.
She softly told him. Asriel's cheeks turned an even brighter red.
Thanks. I try.
He awkwardly replied. He then wrapped his fluffy arms around her. He loved how warm he felt with her in his arms.
It's nice laying against you. Your fur is so warm and cozy, but you also have a nice firm base.
She quietly told him. Hang on, guys. I gotta go for a second.
That's okay.
Does that mean you enjoy my hot goat bod? He then awkwardly stammered out. Frisk smiled and moved her head away from his chest.
I definitely appreciate it.
She said, staring right into his eyes.
I'm back.
The two then... Okay, start at the two then.
Alright. The two then kissed. It was a soft and gentle one that matched the tenderness of the situation. She then leaned back down on him.
I can hear your heartbeat.
She then said.
Well, you're so close to me, I'm surprised.
Asriel answered.
Kind of reminds me of the time when we were kids, and I asked you if I could hear it right after you came back to life.
She softly said while smiling again.
You know, I thought you were a bit weird, right?
Yeah, I figured. It's just that I wanted to make sure you were okay.
She sincerely replied. He smiled. Even back then, she was always looking out for him. He loved that so much about her.
This is all you here with me. I don't want to do this.
Asriel softly told her with his eyes closed. Frisk then devilishly grinned.
This is dumb.
Oh boy.
This is dumb, Pasta.
Are you sure? Because I can feel your chaos saber up against me, and it probably wants to do a lot more than just snuggle.
She said cheekily. Asriel's face then turned a bright red from embarrassment.
Just go to sleep, okay?
Okay. It's not like it's going to be hard or anything with you here making me feel warm and safe.
Frisk tenderly told him with her eyes closed. She then quietly fell asleep laying against him. The young prince smiled and gave her a soft kiss on the forehead.
I love you.
He whispered to her. He then happily drifted off, knowing that she would be there. End of part 3.
Yay!
Heck yeah. Hope I did alright with that.
Yeah,
You did.
you did
You
good.
knocked it out of the park.
Oh, thank you. It means a lot to hear.
I hope my Asriel was okay for being relatively spur of the moment.
Yeah,
Fine.
you did good, Elsa.
Me and my mezzo soprano, I can't, especially because it's like something softer. It's hard to balance it without sounding like high.
It's honestly weird for like someone else voicing Asriel, considering I'm always the one that's voicing Asriel when I ever read the stuff out, like either on stream or with my friend in private and stuff. It's just it was interesting.
Well, what did you think?
Yeah.
Give me as the official Asriel stan. Give me your review. How many stars do I get?
How many star plays do you get? You mean? 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Well, 7 out of
stars, but okay.
All right, 4 out of 5 there.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That was better than last time when my mic kept cutting out when I was narrator.
Yeah.
That was not great.
You know what's even weirder about this?
What?
You know, I'm doing all this romantic stuff with this romantic stuff, and there's just, and I know some of you listening to this are probably thinking, "Oh, that sounds so sweet," but isn't that a bit awkward between you and also doing it with your girl that's just your friend and stuff? Well, Caitlin's gay, so that's not a problem, really.
Fair.
Yeah.
And I can act just fine.
Yeah.
For the most part. I played somebody's wife in a school play. I think I can handle it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, like, it's funny, like...
It's interesting.
Yeah, one of the problems I have is, like, I don't know what it is about me, but I kind of attract women as friends that won't be into me for whatever reason. Like, either they're across the country, they're gay, they're asexual or stuff, or they're just not interested in dating people right now, and I'm just like, I'm never gonna get a girlfriend at this rate. I know it's weird, but
I don't know, that's what I thought of. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know it's weird
Hey.
stuff, but as someone who's like 20 years old and doesn't have like a legit relationship, I just
Hey, when it happens, it happens.
yeah.
I would sing a love song here, like a random one, if I could think of one.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, wasn't about something depressing. I know too many depressing love songs. Anyway.
You mean Love Like You, which
so-
you mean Love Like You, that basically describes Azrael and Fritz's relationship in this.
To be half of what you think of me, I could do about anything. I could even how to love like you. Like you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you. Oh my gosh.
Wait.
Wait. Can I just do the end before we close out?
Yeah. Yeah, but just
not
just
the end. The I always thought I might be back now. I'm sure that it's true. 'Cause I think you're so good, and I'm nothing like you. Look at you go. I just for you. I wish that I knew what makes you think I'm this special. That's the part I wanted to do. That's my favorite part of the song.
I mean, that is too. And also, yeah.
I always thought I might be back now. I'm sure that it's true.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Elsa, bring it in a bit. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, if you want any song to basically describe what I think a relationship between Frisk and Azrael would be, like in a post-pacifist story, basically Azrael would be singing that love song to Frisk, that Love Like You song to Frisk.
Except instead of like singing it to a space rock, it's singing it to a human.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I think with all that, we're going to wrap up. Thank you, wintermelon, for coming to join us. It was great to have such a wonderful lady here. And also thank you,
for having me.
and also thank you, Elsa, for also being a wonderful lady as always. And
Heck yeah.
and while we're closing out, for
Thank
those
you too, Pasta.
yeah, thank you. I try. And to close this all out. Next time we meet, I'm not actually sure what we're going to do next time we meet. Honestly,
It'll be a surprise.
yeah, it's gonna be a surprise. Yeah, and it's totally planned out and not me having poor planning and